In order to find the equation of a line, there's two things they can give you. They can give you 2 points, or they can give you a point and a slope. Because ultimately, what do you need? Ultimately, you always need a slope. I mean, look up here at that form. You need a slope, and you need to get b, which you can get using either one of the equations. Okay? So you always have to calculate your slope. Regardless of which equation you like better, that's always your first task. So they can give you either of these options and then say, hey, get to work. Now, the top option, they didn't give you the slope in that one. They give you 2 points, but you guys know how to get slopes from 2 points, right? We just went over it. Okay. So in the top option, in the 2 points option, yeah, you have to work extra. It's a pain, but we can do it. Nothing hard, nothing tricky. In the second option, hey, look, they were already nice. They gave us everything. We just plug it in. Done. So I want to do an example of each to make sure that we're all okay. And for that example, why is the bottom of my screen doing that? I don't know if you guys can't see what's happening. Whenever I click at the lower part of the screen, it's like doing something funny. It's not actually reading. Okay. So let's do an example. Let me go to a new page of each type. From your worksheet, you guys tell me which one's good that gives you a point and a slope, or 2 points. Pick your favorite, and we'll just do the next one next.
0, 5, and then -3.
Are you sure? Okay, we'll do it. That one's just a really easy one, but it's a good one to look at because it can make it. It's true. I shouldn't second guess you guys. And it's a true example. It's a good one off the worksheet. I said. I'm glad that you pointed one out. Okay, so we're given a point. We want to find the equation for a line that goes through the point 0, 5, and has a slope equal to -3. Now, guys, there's a reason that I kind of was hesitant to even do this example. It's so easy, you could do it with your eyes closed. Tell me something special about that point. Even if you didn't notice it now. Oh, when x is 0, that's the what intercept? It's the y-intercept. Are you kidding me? So you're saying that, like, in one step I already have the answer? I mean, y equals mx plus b. To get something in that form, I need the slope and the y-intercept. Oh, okay, done. Y equals, what's slope? -3, put the x there. And what's the intercept again?
I actually solved it.
That's okay. We're going to solve it too. I'm going to teach you how to do both ways. But this way is the one, again, I'm going to motivate a little bit.
I just want to say that I really didn't even notice. I mean,
it's okay. It happens pretty fast too if you're using the other equation. So we know that we can use this y equals mx plus b and just done. You got it, right? But let's say you didn't see it and you like the other equation. Let's look at it also. So point slope, y minus y1 equals m parentheses x minus x1. Now, you got to be careful when you use this one. I'm sure you guys noticed that, didn't you? You have two different x's and y's happening, and it's not like the slope. Which x and y are you plugging into? The ones that have the 1 on them? Okay, yeah. The subscripted ones are the ones you're going to plug the x and y in from whichever point you're putting in there. They can give you 1,000 points. You've got to have 1, though. That's all you need. And then you plug in for your m, and done. You simplify it, and you're good to go. So let's do that with this one. Y minus, let's see, this is x1, y1. If you're using this one, you call it x1, y1. The other method is just xy, who cares? You know, but we'll do another one in a second where you see more of the other methods. Y minus y1, so y minus 5, right? You guys good? Equals, what's m? Okay, -3. X, you don't plug in 4 minus, what's X1? 0. Okay. With this method, it's a couple more steps sometimes, not always, but it cleans up nice. And you don't have to think too much about, am I missing something? Because you can just wrap it up. So, for example, here, to clean this up, what would you do? Okay, distribute 3x times each of those pieces. So I get negative 3 times x. What's negative 3 times 0? Okay, so just drop that part. Or put plus 0 if you're really meticulous and you want to see it. Do you guys want me to write plus 0?
I'll put it down.
Okay, I'll write it too then.
I'll start taking out stuff and I'll forget stuff.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm the same way. I like to be meticulous too. I don't always write with 0, but it's because I've just done it so long. It's not because I wouldn't have if I were you. I want y by itself, though, ultimately. That's usually the best way to write this thing, isn't it? So let's get y alone. What shall we do? You got it. Okay. Let's compare it to the other answer. Oh, check it out. Oh, both ways work perfectly. They both give the exact same answer. Nice. Okay.
Now, that's the final answer on that same problem.
Mm-hmm.
But if you are having a graph or something,
Then you're set. You're a happy camper. If you have to graph, you can look right there and see the y-intercept like that, and you can see the slope like that. Do you want me to graph it with you?
yeah.
I mean, you actually could.
I'm confused about that. When do we do like maybe 3 over 1?
That's when you're graphing. If you want to see the slope in its technical position, which is rise over run, you would write the negative 3 as a fraction, so that you could graph it by doing these down and then the over. Do you guys want to see that just for refreshment? Okay, let's say we want to graph it then. So we have to pull off the slope, which again we know is negative 3. And we can think about it better when we're working with it by hand as by making it a fraction. So negative 3 over what again? 1. Okay, rise. Rise is up and down. So what's the top telling you? To go up or down? Okay, so you go down 3. And what's the bottom telling you? Right or left? To the right one. Okay. And then we know the y-intercept. We know it crosses the axis at what point? Okay, 5. Good. Again, that's why I really motivate, even if you use the y minus y1, even if you use the point slope formula, I really motivate you to go ahead and write it with y equals mx plus b as your final answer. It's so much easier to play with it. So y-intercept, let's see, x, y, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I put my intercept on there, right? You guys with me? Slope. From this point, I now do what? Give me my road direction. Okay. 1, 2, 3, and to the right one. So I went down 3, to the right 1. And now I've got my line. Good.
So then slope, now the y-intercept is where you start from, the y-intercept.
Yeah, you start with the y-intercept first, because anytime you're trying to graph by hand, if you're using the slope to graph, you have to have a starting point. So they either have to give you the y-intercept or some other point.
Negative 5, you start from the bottom.
Because it's telling you where it crosses that axis. Now, even if it wasn't an intercept, even if I had just said, hey, this line goes through 2, 3, you just start at that point and use the slope as a roadmap to the next spot, right? It's just this form, this y equals mx plus b form, is so easy because it's just on the axis. But really, you could have had any point and just used the slope the same way. You just have to use some starting place. Some point on that line has to be a starting place for you before you graph it using the slope. Good? Now let's look at the example right beside it.